Good evening, everyone. I would like to call the meeting to order if we can. If you would please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to February 8th, 2016 village meeting. I would like to approve tonight's agenda.
Mr. President, if I may, you guys realize why I'm carrying the agenda?
No, Mr. Vick, not tonight. Anything else? I'm asking for a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Support. Roll call, please.
Horton.
Yes.
McCafferty.
Yes.
Maureen.
Yes.
Dick.
No.
Baldwin.
Yes. At this point, I'd like to have the approval of the minutes from our regular council meeting from January 11th, 2016.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular council meeting minutes from January 11th, 2016.
Support.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Horton.
Yes.
McCafferty.
Yes.
Maureen.
Yes.
Dick.
Yes.
Baldwin.
Yes. The treasurer's report tonight is our purple sheet. Comments?
Make a motion, we accept the treasurer's report February 8th, 2016.
Support. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Horton.
Yes.
McCafferty.
Yes.
Maureen.
Yes.
Dick.
No.
Baldwin.
Yes. The bills and transfers. Discussion? I'm looking for a motion to accept the bills and transfer as presented.
I make a motion, we accept the bills and transfer from 1/1/2016 to 1/31/2016.
Support. Anything else? Discussion? Roll call, please. If you can, let's speak up and go with the fan.
Horton.
Yes.
McCafferty.
Yes.
Maureen.
Yes.
Dick.
Yes.
Baldwin.
Yes.
Mr. President, if I may, a little housekeeping before you go to public comment. In the past, when we had special council meetings upstairs, we always looked at the minutes on those and approved those.
Can't hear anything back there. We gotta move up.
We'll be on the agenda for next month. It's got a cool on, even though you shut it off.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll go out.
It isn't quiet as it? Did you get that, Mr. Vick?
I did.
Okay.
Be on the agenda next month.
Yes. Anybody else heard that?
No.
Question is why our special meeting minutes weren't on tonight's agenda. They will be on next month's agenda. Can you hear me? Thank you. Anything else? We're all set? Public comment, please, first time. This is on agenda items only.
I got a couple of safety conditions I'd like to bring to the council's attention. If I could, I'd like to give some maps and some pictures and just show a couple of things that might be of interest or they're more than interest, they need to be addressed. They're safety incidents. I'd like to bring them under administrative and code enforcement.
I will take. I'll take all of those before we hand those out. I want to make sure what we're looking at. Please, I'll take those. And that map, please. If you want to, go ahead.
Okay, what I have, this is Eagle Road here, Schumann Drive. This is where the siren's at right here. This blue area is my property. And this orange, this is a drain. This is what I'm concerned about. This is the Genesee County drain. And as you can see, it starts right here and heads up and goes right into the Kersley Creek at the Dutch Road Bridge. What used to be a half acre of wetland is now over 6 acres of flooded area, and there's nothing but dead trees and vegetation. Now, I haven't done anything about it up until now. It's been getting worse and worse every year. So in November, I went to the Genesee County Drain Commissioner's office and filed a complaint, and they've been coming out and keeping in touch with me and telling me what they've been doing. Well, they're going to start right here, and they're working backwards. And the last I heard, they were right about in this area here. I'm going to try to clean that drain out. And I know Susan Hogan, January 21st, all the emails that we've been corresponding back and forth with Susan Hogan, she sent to the administration office so that Jackie was aware of it. But I don't believe any of the council was. And with the Zika virus coming and all this flooded area here, I think it's a concern to this community and myself at the same time. Now the other problem, the safety problem I have, that's to the north of my property. Now to the south of my property, if you'll look, and you've got the pictures there of the flooded area, the number 1 and number 2, if you want to look at those. I've got the same pictures here. If you're on the north side of my house and you look over, all you see is water and dead trees. Another picture of the same, and it goes all the way to, it goes 400 or 500 foot. This is my backyard here. So if you look to the north, you're going to see this. Now if you look to the south, this is what you're going to see. Now that, when you're on Eagle Road and you look at the siren, that all looks level. But if you go to the back side and look down, that's 45-foot drop. And if you're in my backyard and look up, you're going to see all this. This is all busted up concrete. And this is where that development wants to go by the means. I don't believe they could possibly build there because it's not suitable ground. But the problem we have is the erosion, the sinkholes. Now I've known it was there, but I've never walked over there and took a close look until they said they wanted to put some apartments in. That got my attention. And when I got over there, I seen barrels, culverts, erosion. It's a danger zone, and it's like walking on a landmine. There's culverts, cement culverts, steel culverts sticking out the bank. There's tires for mosquitoes to harvest in. But this is what I want to bring to your attention. Sinkholes. This one right here, I don't know how deep that one is, but this one is 3 foot round, and it goes straight down 8 foot. And I don't even know if the bottom's there, to tell you the truth. But if there's, my grandson gets over there, anybody's grandson, any kids any dogs, any wildlife. That's a dangerous situation, and that's all I want to do is bring it to your attention. Now, I'd like tomorrow, if somebody could meet me there at 7:30 and have the code enforcer look at it, and the building inspector, have them look at all this stuff. Not only is it unsightly, but it's dangerous. And another thing I'd like to bring to your attention is the fact that this pond was able to be dug right across this line. How that ever happened is beyond me, but something wasn't right. And another thing, last but not least, the village owned this property back in '93. And I talked to a lot of people around here. I moved here in '95. And I believe all this debris was put there by the village. When they put the sanitary sewers in, I heard that all the debris went right there. That's all I got to say. As far as the complex coming in, if they can build on that ground, we need to all run for the hills. Thank you.
Thank you.
You want your pictures then?
Oh, you can keep the maps, because I know you need to know where the drain is, but the pictures I'd like to have after the meeting.
At the end of the meeting. Anyone else? Unfinished business, the Genesee County Sheriff Department report. Anybody have comments? Otherwise, I'm going to move right on to number 2, the street administrator, 911 Waterways, Parks and Rec. If we could, street administrator, please.
Biggest problem we've been having is with the salt spreaders, and we're still working on them. One of them's going, but the other one isn't at the moment. I did notice something over the weekend, and I talked to Jackie about it today. The gentleman that's cleaning it up, going out of town, cutting it all, and piled all that wood there, and makes it look nice. I hope he gets it out of there, because if we get a big rain, it fills up, it's gonna float into the mill pond, it's gonna cause a lot of problems. That wood needs to be moved out of there, it's in short pieces now, it's stacked up, and it'd be a bugger to get out of that dam. You'd have to build some kind of net to get them out of there, because there's probably 15 truckloads of that stuff cut and piled. We all know when we get heavy rain, well, that area's got about 2 foot of water in it, so some of it's gonna float. Other than that, storm coming tomorrow, so we'll see what it is.
Nothing on 911 or water and waste. The Parks and Recs Committee met on Thursday, are going over the rules and regulations that are listed in the ordinance to see if they have any, they would like to put any input into that will come to council and eventually end up with Mr. McKinney, because it's an ordinance. And that's about it on it.
Code enforcement, which Dave is not here, but
David's on vacation for the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
Alabama.
okay. We're back to administrative.
I did get a request from a gentleman. Is everybody familiar with geocaching? Where they hide something and you can try to find it by coordinates and things, and you can put notes in it, or you can put something of value or an acorn or something like that. They would like to put one in the park. We've had one in there before, didn't cause any problems. I would recommend that we let them do it, but with the, that they can't put it anywhere near the dam and it can't be buried underground. That means they would hang it in a tree or something like that.
I don't see a problem with it.
We talked about it at the Parks and Recs, and people didn't have a problem with it as far as Parks and Recs Commission.
I guess the only question I have is what they go online and they get clues and whatnot, and they gotta try to find it.
There's one somewhere in the village now that the gentleman put in, I don't know where it is. Must be on private property or something. So, like consensus or a motion that we can allow them to do that
I would make a motion that we go ahead and allow them to go ahead and put something on their park.
with those conditions.
With those conditions. Looking for support?
Support?
Roll call, please.
Horton,
Yes.
McCafferty,
Yeah.
Maureen,
Yes.
Vic,
Yes.
Baldwin.
Yes. Sidewalks?
I just have one more thing. I'm on vacation next
Okay.
month during the meeting. So if anybody needs anything between that, or wants anything on the agenda, let me know.
Mark, if I may, I have a question.
Please.
Jackie. The timesheets for the DPW workers, I requested those, and I haven't received any since October. So if I could get caught up on those, I'd appreciate it.
Should have been some in there before that, but the last couple of weeks, between everybody being sick, but we'll catch them up.
Thank you.
That it?
Upside down there? Sidewalks? Nothing. Attorney, Mr. McKinney, please.
Good evening. I have a report. We can resolve tonight the pending litigation of Wartella versus Village of Goodrich. This is a freedom of information litigation, and I was contacted by the attorney retained by your insurance company last week. I was also contacted by the insurance company, and they designed at that time to fashion a settlement in this case. All documents have been produced that were ever required or in existence, and you are running out of insurance coverage. So the insurance company and retained counsel formulated a settlement using the remaining insurance coverage, which is only $2,500, to pay the attorney fees for the plaintiff, which they're entitled to under statute. There will be an additional $2,500 that they suggested be paid by the village. They wanted, for a full payment, $5,000. There'll be a dismissal of the lawsuit, an acknowledgement that the documents have been provided by the village, and the cases, both cases, will be dismissed with prejudice, and the parties, the village and the plaintiff, will execute a general mutual release. It's my understanding, but that was in communication over the weekend, that that agreement has been agreed to by all parties, and the motion for, cross motions for summary disposition that were settled for today were adjourned or canceled in view of that settlement. I'm before the council tonight asking that you accept that recommendation from your insurance company retained counsel and your insurance carrier. I'm looking for motion, support, and a vote to accept that settlement. There'll be a general mutual release. There'll be 2 orders of dismissal. There were 2 cases here. Money will pass hands. There'll be $5,000 going to the attorney for the plaintiff. $2,500 exhausts your insurance coverage. The balance will be paid by the village. I'd be happy to answer questions from council.
I have a question because I'm not an attorney. What does with prejudice mean?
With prejudice means that the case is over. There are 2 ways to dismiss a case: with prejudice or without prejudice. If you dismiss a case without prejudice, the case can be brought again. This case will be dismissed with prejudice.
Okay, so
Can't be,
route
right,
again.
that's right, good question.
And Mr. President, if I may have a question as well. I have a brief understanding of what the lawsuits were on. When they were first given to the village, I asked for copies of the suits and what they were for. I still have yet to receive those. Before I would be willing to say a nay on a motion, I guess I would need a little more explanation on why we'd be settling and what was actually done wrong to allow us to settle.
The only reason I'm suggesting you settle is because of the cost. You'll clearly pay more than $2,500 going forward, and it's about disclosed, undisputed public records. There's nothing to be gained by going forward, nothing.
And let me clarify my question, because I understand a little bit about FOIA as an information request. And I would thought the reason when one would be sued was either because we didn't answer the request, we didn't do it in a timely fashion, or we didn't do enough of the request response.
That's the allegation by the plaintiff, yes.
Okay, so is that what took place?
I wasn't involved in the litigation, I was involved in the settlement of the litigation. And we can go on, we can continue. If you vote not to settle the case, then we'll continue the litigation, but you'll have no insurance coverage, and the village will be paying its attorney to defend the case.
And the attorney fees for the plaintiff.
And you'll be liable for the attorney's fees for the plaintiff if that's decided. We took it out of that context. It wasn't taken out of the context by me, it was taken out of the context by your insurance carrier and the law firm retained by your insurance carrier to settle the matter. Everybody declare a victory and go home. And limit the village's exposure. The village has had no exposure whatsoever right now, financially. Your insurance coverage is very modest in this regard.
So if that being the case, in your professional opinion, I know that you kind of came to the agreement that this is the direction we should go, but if it doesn't go down that route, can we win the case?
If it goes down what route?
If it goes to court?
I don't know. I'm not going to opine onto that. I wasn't involved in litigation. I worked last week to get a settlement because that's what was recommended by your insurance carrier. That's what was recommended by your retained counsel. And your choice is, I think, in my mind, the choice is quite simple. You can settle it for $2,500 or you can take over the defense and see where it goes. I don't think you can win it for $2,500.
What you're saying is we'd spend more money even if we want to.
I'm certain of that. Oh, you could invest a lot in attorney's fees. That inures to some people's benefit. You may win, you may not win, but it'll certainly cost you more than $2,500. And that is, I believe, why both the insurance carrier and the attorney retained by the insurance carrier began fashioning the settlement last week.
And ultimately, that costs the taxpayer.
Yeah, ultimately, it's your bill. Even if you win, it's your bill. There's going to be a bill if you win. There's really, in this context, there's no spiking the ball in the end zone. It's all very expensive.
Right, you can't win for losing.
Right. So that's my recommendation, and I join the recommendation that comes to you from your insurance carrier and your retained counsel. Insurance retained counsel.
Tom, could you simplify what you just said so a motion can be made, so we
Oh,
understand?
I think I'm recommending a motion and support to accept the settlement. Motion, support, and vote to accept the proposed settlement, which provides both circuit court lawsuits will be dismissed with prejudice. The parties will sign a general mutual release of all claims. In addition to the case being dismissed with prejudice, the parties will sign a general mutual release with all claims. The insurance company will spend the balance of its insurance coverage on attorney's fees, and the village will participate to that full extent, $2,500 each, for a total of $5,000. The check will be made payable to the attorney's trust account I learned that through an email I got this afternoon.
make a motion to accept your motion.
Except the settlement, I think, as I've
Except the
explained.
settlement.
Accept the
Yeah,
settlement.
the settlement.
Can I ask just one more question?
After it's
So-
supported and in discussion. Okay, it's-
Oh,
Then you
okay.
support it, then we'll
Okay.
discuss it. Looking for support.
Support.
No,
Now I can ask my question.
Now you can
Okay,
inquire.
sorry. So, bottom line, the insurance company, we've got $2,500 left with them. $2,500 is coming from the taxpayer to foot this $5,000 settlement.
Yes and yes.
any other discussion? No more discussion, I'll have a roll call vote, please.
Horton,
Yes.
McCafferty,
Yes.
Maureen,
Yes.
Yes.
Baldwin.
Yes.
Thank you.
Code of conduct for elected officials,
Let me take it.
please.
I do have a letter from MML that they have a speaker that can come on February 23rd, which is a Tuesday, to discuss parliamentary procedure and ethics training. It would be held in this office here from 6 to 9, and the cost is $1,100 plus speaker travel and expenses. It's a Tuesday, I think I said that, 23rd.
Mr. President, if I may.
Yes.
Is that $1,100 included on whoever shows up? That's just the price of the class? Or there has to be a certain amount of people?
That's the price of the class.
Okay. Are we inviting any other municipalities?
I will or make a phone call to municipalities and ask them if they want to send somebody $25 a head, I don't know.
Yeah, something to help share the cost of it.
It'll be sent out to the planning commission and zoning board of appeals. I can't guarantee that anybody will come, but I'll let Atlas Township and Ortonville and Davison know.
And they don't have a problem with us recording this? They wouldn't hold us in a
Nobody
copyright?
said anything about it, I will double check that again. I had the Sandy lined up.
It could be handy that we could use it in the future.
So I'm looking for a motion, if that's what you would like to do, schedule this meeting.
Make a motion that we schedule a code of conduct class, February 23rd. I'm sorry, what time was it?
From 6 to 9.
From 6 to 9?
I'll support that.
For
Any other discussion?
$1,100
For
plus
$1,100.
For $1,100.
travel expenses.
Thank you.
Horton,
Yes.
McCafferty,
Yes.
Maureen,
Yes.
Dick,
Yes.
Baldwin.
Yes. Personnel policy?
Nothing to report on there.
New business, the salt spreader.
Again,
Again.
I think you and Lori can talk about that better than I can. I got the prices from the guys, and there are 2 quotes that are within reason of the drive time and installation time, that type of thing. We did not get 3, we don't have to have 3. We have 2 quotes from Wine Garden and Abington Road Sales. Nappi doesn't sell that type of equipment.
I think this is the one that goes in the 1 ton. The 1 ton spreader was put in there, we bought it 10 years ago, 11. We've been having some issues with that one. We've also been having some issues with the one we bought. This is the 3rd time they've tried to install it and to make it work. And the first 2 times it's come off the truck, basically. Took it back over last week and left the truck for 4 days, and they had people out sick, so we got the truck back and still don't have a spreader on that one. But we do need to get a spreader. We previously rebuilt the one we got in the 1 ton. I think it was 2 years ago. We put all new auger in it and bearings and so forth. We're having problems with the wiring on it again. Salt gets to that wiring after so many years, and it's beginning to be a big problem. We put 2 years ago we put a new control box in it, and that would be probably the 3rd one. It just doesn't hold up. But we do need to get one that is working. Mr. Bald and I have been working over there where we bought the other one. We've got to give him a chance to try to install it. It's supposed to work on every truck, but the way our truck's built, the center beams are short. They haven't been able to make it work. They mounted it to the back bumper and the bumper came off from the stress. So that's where that one's sitting over there in the garage at the moment. We have to make a decision what we're going to do. I know the other one we paid about the same price as we paid for this one. It lasted us 10 years, but salt is hard on them, no matter how well you clean them. It just eats them up along with the truck.
One of the main reasons too that we need this is the salt spreader that we have. When it works, it doesn't disperse sand anymore. And with 1/3 of our roads gravel, we need to have sand to be able to go on the roads. So that's one of the main reasons we need to get one now versus later on. So we're looking for a motion, if that's your pleasure, to purchase the salt spreader.
Question.
Yes.
Clarification, didn't we not, during our last budget rounds, just buy a salt gravel spreader?
Yes,
It's
we
on
did.
the other truck.
It's on the other truck, and they haven't been able to install it to make it work yet.
How much did we spend on that one?
About the same amount.
So is there any way, because that was supposed to be the fix-all, because this was the high tech, and I know we had discussions on who's gonna weld this thing up, and we ended up finally going, I believe, to the company we purchased it for and all that stuff.
Good thing we did.
Yeah, so is there any way they can refund us our money on that? We can get a better one for whatever we're going after?
We've got to give one more chance to put it on first. Mr. Bald and I have been there. And we may have to go back again next week if they don't get this thing. But he had 2 people out sick. We've had 2 people out of the office sick. One day last week, I only had 1 guy most of the week because he was out sick. There's stuff going around. And I'm sure Matt would have come in if we had really, really needed him, but he didn't need to be here giving it to somebody else. But both of the spreaders are same age, 10, 11 years old. They've been new bearings and they've been worked on. They're greased. The salt just eats them up.
To your question, Mr. Vick, you know, we've contacted the company that manufactures the spreader, but they are not responsible for the installation. We have to give the company that put it on there the opportunity to correct it. We'll see how it goes. That would be the procedure we have to go if we're going to try to recover our money. You know, we just can't go in there and say we want our money back. We'll give them the opportunity to make it right. If it doesn't work, I would suggest that we go and get a second opinion from another person that installs the salters for Myers, and then see what they have to say, and then we will try to get our money back that way, if it doesn't work. If that answers your questions.
It does. My concerns are we're going to spend close to $14,000 to $15,000 on possibly 2 salt spreaders if they all end up working. I'd be in favor of a motion if one was made on the contingency that this one cannot get installed, and we go ahead and purchase one that sits our vehicles properly. But to have 2 on hands at this cost, I think is a waste of money.
But in all fairness, we have to give them the opportunity to correct the mistake.
We also need another salt spreader.
And we have to have salt spreader. I guess that's the bottom of it. And I believe right now, we only have 1 small one that's working, correct?
It's working.
but it doesn't
We
do
can't
sand.
run sand through it anymore. They said, don't put any more sand in it. So we put
You
sand
live on
in
a
it
gravel
and it
road.
quit.
Which you do.
But,
Only other thing we can do is roll the dice.
and if you get ice on these back roads, you gotta put sand on them. You put salt on them, you make a terrible, terrible mess. And,
I guess I'm more just sad that it's been close to 6 months and we don't have our salt spreader issue resolved, and now we're looking at buying another one. Any of those are my concerns, Mr. President.
And mine too, but, you know, we just can't go in there and demand our money back from them. That's not gonna work. You have to follow somewhat of a procedure, and until then, like I say, you know, either
they've been working with a company to install it, and so far both of their plans have failed.
I will say one thing for them, they are trying. You know, I'll give them credit for that, but we're still without a spreader.
They told them it would work on that truck, and we had to take their word for it, and it's not working on that truck.
Further discussion?
No discussion. What kind of motion is
What do we want to do? Do we want to make a motion to go forward and purchase one, or table? What do you guys want to do?
Well, you need something out there in case you get an ice storm, or you're gonna have some problems.
Is it at the shop now, if I may, sir? I mean, are they continuing to work on it?
Pardon me?
Is it at the shop now and they're still working on it?
We brought it back in case we need it in the morning to plow with. They had nobody on it for 5 days. His welder's out sick. And they only have one welder. But we've got the one we can put salt out with it, but we need to be able to put sand out there too. We use quite a bit of sand through the winter. Dutch Road, and, some of Pontiac Street, in the Grove. And, those roads need to be taken care of too.
So here we are. Do we want to make a motion, table? What do we want to do?
I would recommend a table until we get more information, or see if they can actually resolve our issue with the salt spreader, and then if not, try to get a refund and then use that money to purchase a new one.
We still have to get another one for the other truck too. We have 2 trucks, we need 2 salt spreaders. If that one doesn't work on that truck, we still need one on the smaller truck, which is what this one's for.
This one's for the other trucks, not the one they're working on. It's for the ton, 1.5 tons or whatever it is, 1 ton. And, we need something that's gonna spread sand. Yeah, it's a bad deal, and those guys feel worse about it than you do, because they come in here and they had to work on one of them, the other one doesn't work. Even with the one that, when it is working, it takes twice as long to do salt, because you gotta come back and fill twice. You can't get enough in it to do the whole village.
How do you want the motion made?
It's going where you know. I'm still waiting for a motion.
I want the motion that we, number one, get that current spreader working properly. I know the guys are working on that right now, so that they can mount it on the vehicle that can use the spreader, make it work out the way it's supposed to. It takes a little work from people that install them all the time, I know that. But nevertheless, you still need a spreader. It's going to spread salt. We've got a lot of streets right in the village, and especially on streets that enter M15 and that sort of thing, that you need to have salt on them. But that's actually that's part of the danger when you've got side streets entering on Eagle Road, M15. You look, no cars are coming, you come out there, all of a sudden the car is spinning their wheels, and you're halfway to the street, now you got a serious problem going on. So having salt in those areas is pretty important. So I think that's what we need to do.
I'm a little confused, John. I'm still looking for a motion to purchase a spreader.
That was his motion.
Which one?
Yeah,
Which
I-
company?
Which company?
as part of the motion.
I heard it.
Purchase spreader.
That was quite a mouthful.
Like that?
That was a motion to purchase a salt spreader from who?
And which one here then?
The one that works.
That's not
We-
all.
Probably the one from Weingart's. That's right.
That's the one that's
Weingarten
cheapest.
is cheaper than the other one.
Okay.
Weingarten.
So you,
Okay, so we have a motion to purchase a spreader from Weingart's for $7,546.50. Is that the motion?
that is the motion.
I'm looking for support, please.
Support.
Roll call.
Horton,
Yes.
McCafferty,
Yes.
Maureen,
Yes.
Dick,
No.
Baldwin.
Yes. We have a resolution now for 2016-02 ZBA appointment. Jackie, you want to
Where's that gonna go?
explain this? I think we talked about it
With the
before.
resignation of Mr. York, we need to replace him on the zoning board of appeals. I put an ad in the paper, did not hear from any residents that might want to make an application. Mr. Hodges had an application in, so in talking to Mr. Baldwin, he directed me to do a resolution to appoint Mr. Hodges to the zoning board of appeals. And we need a motion to accept, adopt resolution 2016-02.
Make a motion, we adopt resolution 2016-2.
Support. Roll call, please.
Horton,
Yes.
McCafferty,
Yes.
Maureen,
Yes.
Dick,
Yes.
Baldwin.
Yes. Your final public comment? Anyone?
Katie Beck on Green Road. As far as the salt spreader goes, I just have some major concerns with the accountability on things. I mean, this has been, it was at least May of last year that we approved the purchase on it. And here we are. I mean, it was priority then because we needed it to be able to spread grass or grass seed or dirt or whatever. We never bothered with it all summer long. We're waiting 10 months to deal with it. I just would like some accountability on that sort of thing. I'm also curious about the electrical in the park, if that's been accomplished yet. And then I have a question about the settlement, or a concern I'd like to express. I feel like we need to, again, with accountability, you as the council, I'd like to see you guys do an investigation on your own, now that the settlement is dealt with, figure out what happened in the administration. Because I saw the FOIA request letters, and I saw what they were turned over by our village, and it was a fail. I can see why they sued, and I can see why you guys aren't fighting against it. I would like you, at the very least, somebody should be reprimanded or held accountable. You need to get to the bottom of it, because that is what you were elected to do.
Anyone else?
I have a question that came up while I was listening to the presentation from the attorney, which was I thought was very informative. They use the term balance of insurance. Balance of insurance. For this case, for this year, balance of what? What do we have in the future? So balance of what? If you could clarify that.
Henry were to, again, my conscience won't be clear until I know that somebody's gonna take it upon themselves to take that serious And if you would, Mr. Baldwin, meet me there tomorrow at 7:30 in front of Mr. Horton's driveway, because I can show you where that hole's at.
I'll be out there by 7:30.
Okay?
Have a coffee on.
And then see to it that the code enforcer is involved. Oh, one other thing. I know Mr. McAbee brought it to your attention the last time the flag needed to be changed. I'm bringing it to you now. That Boy Scout that put those beautiful poles out there. And this is the second time it had to be brought to the council that flag needs to be changed. It's ripped to shreds. It's a shame. I don't know if the DPW is too busy. I know we haven't had any snow this year, but somebody should be able to change the flag. Thank you.
Anyone else? Comments from council? Anybody?
Really.
I'll talk to you after the meeting, but Mr. Lucic is out of town, and I will get a hold of him. I will call the drain commissioner, and Hogan, I believe was the name that you had said you would talk to?
Susan.
Just talk to Susan? That's her new name, okay.
I can tell you there's been somebody from the drain commission out
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
and I personally went over there.
I'll call her and see, get up to speed on that, on the drain issue. Maybe 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, is that too early for you?
No, it's kind of dark.
I was gonna say, as soon as it gets daylight, we'll see if we can do it, but it's kind of short notice for me, and I have to be in Imlay City, but we'll be looking into it, that I will.
It's not far off the road.
I know. The FOIA request, the problems leading to the suit, I am going to see to it that council is going to get copies of all of that. We will be, I think that it's important that we make sure that we don't go down that same path again. So we will be looking into that. The spreader that we purchased, we just got it here not too long ago. There's nothing wrong with the spreader, it's the way that it was installed. And I don't know if the people that are installing it, we bought it in good faith. There seems to be a glitch. These guys are really trying to work with us. And it's too bad that everybody gets sick every once in a while, but it leaves us without a spreader that's functional. But even if it doesn't work on the truck, we have to give them every opportunity to make it right. That's kind of how I see it. The electrical in the park, I'm talking with the electrician. FOIA, I think I just answered that. Balance of the insurance, this is pertaining to this particular case. Okay. In the future. I guess that's it. There's nothing else.
I make a motion to adjourn unless there is something else.
Support.
All good, Gus? Aye. Aye, that was good.